Do you have a card deck lying around in your house and you want to impress your friends with just some sleight of hand, but you don't know any tricks? Welcome to the club. I don't know any either. But what I do know how to do is how to get those cards from one hand to the other. Still don't know how to do that. But what I do know is how to use Procreate. With Procreate, actually, you can do a lot of amazing things. So you can impress your friends with a little illusion that I've created. Check it out. So do you want to find out how to do this trick? I know that rule number 1 of magic is to never reveal your secrets, but where would the fun be in that, really? So it actually is pretty easy and it only takes a few steps. What's up, legends? Stefan Kunz here with another Procreate tutorial for you. Before we get started, let's get warmed up and start stretching our fingers, making sure that our muscles memory is back here really well. And once you're ready, don't forget to tap on that subscribe button. And if you want to do another repetition, also hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming up next. You can actually download the Procreate file that I'm using in this tutorial, linked in the description below. All right, step number 1, finding the perfect image. To find the perfect image, we need 3 ingredients that are necessary to make this work really, really well. Ingredient number 1 is having an object in the foreground. This could be a skyline or, for example, a person standing around in the scene. Ingredient number 2 is having a background that will not compete with the layer or the illustration, the text that you are putting on top of it. And ingredient number 3 is not necessary, but this is actually what makes it really special, is to have a reflection. Using water or something else to reflect it is perfect. My favorite place to get the best free quality photos is unsplash.com. This is a site that you can go to get the amazing royalty-free images that you can use in any project in any way you want to. I found this picture that I'm using here on Unsplash actually, and it features the skyline of Sydney. Here's a fun fact. I actually used to live in Sydney for 1.5 years, and I totally miss it. Since we cannot travel anymore, I even miss it more. Let me know in the comments below, what city are you from, and does it also feature an awesome skyline like this one? Step number 2, finding the symmetry line. I know this is a weird title, but it's a necessary step in the process. So here's a quick trick that I've concocted to easily find the symmetry line in your photo. Simply connect 2 distinct points in the image that cross each other, connect these, and then do the exact opposite, creating an X. Do that same thing again on the right side of the image. The center point of the X is where your symmetry line will go through. Step number 3, drawing assist. To create the mirror effect, we're gonna make use of the Symmetry tool that Procreate offers. It's a drawing assist function that you can easily turn on. This will magically trace your line at 2 places at the same time. You'll find this function by going to Actions and going into the canvas, turning on Drawing Guide. Then you tap on Edit Drawing Guide, select Symmetry, and place a symmetry line on the center of the 2 X's. Up next, step number 4, cutting out the skyline. Since our magic trick doesn't only rely on the mirror effect, but also how the line magically hides behind some buildings, we want to cut out these objects in the foreground and make sure that our layer, our drawing, goes behind that layer. So I want my lettering to go behind the buildings, and to create an extra wow effect, I don't want to go behind all of the buildings, but just some of them. So just the first line of buildings right in front at the water. To do that, you can simply first sketch out which buildings you want to cut out, and then carefully trace the outline of all these buildings. Make sure that it's a full shape filled out, then duplicate that layer, reflect that so you can create a mirror. Also, fill out those little areas in the puddle that are not visible to the mirror effect. And finally, put that all together into one object. Step number 5, shadows. To make your lettering pop just a tiny little bit more behind those buildings, we want to add some shadow. Change the color to black, then duplicate the shape layer and swipe it with 2 fingers to the right on the layer and tap on fill layer to turn it into black. Again, using 2 fingers, swipe to the right, turn off alpha lock. Go to the adjustments and select Gaussian blur. This should be at 10%, which should be fine for this project here. Step number 6, the setup. Like any good magic trick, preparation is key. In this step, we'll place all the layers in the right order and making sure that you are all set for the big moment. So let's start from the back. First up, we're starting off with the background image. So that's layer number 1, is the background image with the full image intact. And on top of that, we're creating a new layer. So this is an empty layer which we're gonna use to draw inside. Make sure to turn on Drawing Assist by tapping on the layer and selecting Drawing Assist. On layer number 3, we have the shadow layer. Tap on and turn on clipping mask so that the shadow will only be visible on the layer that you'll draw on. Layer number 4, skyline cutouts. By now you should have only 4 layers ready to go, and we have layer number 2 where we're gonna draw inside. And at last, step number 7, the final performance. I remember shooting the original clip that I shared on Instagram a year ago about 50 plus times. Like any good performance, it just takes a lot of practice to get good at it. So don't sweat it if you are not getting something perfect right at the start. The most important thing is that you can play around with it and have fun. I also like to experiment with a few different brushes. I rarely use calligraphy brushes in my Procreate work since I kind of like usually fill these out. But for moments like these, which are just about creating this thick and thin lines, this is where using a calligraphy brush can be really fun. So try them out one by one and see which one you like the best. Now, I can't leave you without a little bonus. I've been playing around with also different scenes, kind of like this one here. Or this one there. It's always awesome if you create your own scene, again with the same 3 ingredients, like the reflection, the object in the foreground, and the background that just works well with lettering. Now you can go through a lot of different images. Again, I've created different options here as well, like this forest one or just sky and sea. So there's a lot of different options you can use. Number 2 is to cut out the object really well. The better you do that, the better you have that, you can put it away. So here's a short recap of what we just looked at. Number 1, finding the right photo. This is crucial for getting a really cool magic trick. Number 2 is to then have a symmetry line, placing the symmetry line at the perfect spot. 3, to cut out the object really well and then adding a shadow just behind it, just increasing the pop effect a little bit more. The performance is really key and essential that you practice a lot and repeat it often. And then finally, just have fun with it so you can go ahead and create something amazing. Can't wait to see what you create. Don't forget to use the hashtag #DrawWithStefan because I really want to see what you come up with in all these different scenes. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you want to learn more about lettering, why don't you check out my Building Letters 101 course and Composition Masterclass, where I teach everything that I know about lettering and how you can advance your skills. It's only $198 in the bundle or $129. You can even get payment plans, so $66 per month for 2 months. So the same exact price, 30-day refund policy. So if you do not enjoy the course, you can always ask for your money back and we will be happily refunding you. So that leaves us with just one last thing, is what you can look forward to in the next video. He puts it all on the sides. What is he doing with the sponge? Why is he putting all these colors in the sponge? Is he doing, oh, he's doing a different color scheme piece. Oh, that's a cool background. That's a really cool background, actually. Yeah, still can't do that. See you guys. I actually do know one trick. So this is the story of the 3 kings. The 3 kings were actually too strong when they were together. So that's why they separated them and put them in prison. Crazy, right? So the one went on the top, the other one at the bottom, and the last one just somewhere in the middle, right? So they're all separated in all 3 different stages. So one night they decided to break out of that prison, and so kind of like they split the deck, right? And I said like, all right, let's break out of the prison. And they went out, and at some point, you know, they were all 3 again together. Isn't that crazy? Okay, maybe you're not that impressed. I was, but I hope you have a good time. See you guys.